Hello and welcome to another Arkeys video and to the new 2 million credit time trial on Gran Turismo 7. We are at the streets of Willow Springs in the reverse layout, a completely new thing to, I believe, all of us, and we are in the Gretty sports car, a very familiar car from back in GT Sport days. We had that in Daily Race A quite often, but we haven't seen much to it for a while on Gran Turismo 7. This video is my first attempt, so I've given myself the usual 1 hour to see how far I can go, and then it also contains a bit of a follow-up, because the following day I decided to go back to see if I could do a bit more and also to test out if I could do it faster in VR. We'll get to that by the end of the video, but let's for now just get straight into it. This is Saturday morning. I've been away for a few days. We have had an update, some new cars, and I also was so lucky to get the gold medal for the Nürburgring time trial, a bit of a tough one. But now let's concentrate about this bad boy. This is my first attempt to even do a lap. I have already watched Mr. MCA and Key25's lap guides, and I'm trying to remember everything. I haven't put a ghost on yet, but maybe I should, because I clearly don't know where I'm going. I have done a bit of this track in the normal way round, but the reverse I've never done it, and I don't know where I'm going. I'm cutting the track, so that's an invalid lap. Let's just try again, but I still just go off the track the same spot. So let's go and get a ghost on, so I at least have something to follow. That's better. Let's get around this corner. Something about just letting the car coast. I'm upshifting to third just to get some traction out of the corner. I'm running too deep into that corner, so that compromises the right hand corner, and you can see the ghost is just running away, but we are just trying to navigate the car around the track for the first time. So if I can just survive this, that would be just lovely. I remember something about the 50 board. I'm trying to get the car around. I'm going in way too narrow, so that is slow, and the ghost is running even further away. Here I completely miss the braking corner, and this is a tricky bit. You have to both slow the car down and weight transfer to make sure the car doesn't just run off the track. And here it's way too narrow again, so I get an awful exit up the hill. And now for the final corner, down to second gear, and even a bit of first because I panicked a bit. And let's get the car towards the finish line for the first time around. You can already see this is a slow one, but we are just getting started with this. 119.2, and I completely forget to brake, so let's just try that again. We get around turn 1 without crashing, but later on that lap I somehow managed to go off the track on the right hand side of that corner. I don't know how I did that. Anyway, we carry on. Eventually I cut off a full second of my rather slow starter lap. I also run off the track. That's an invalid lap now, and yeah, I cut the track once again, also an invalid lap. And yeah, let's have a look. This is a silver time, and I've done this for around 15 minutes, 18 kilometers in, and we go again. But yeah, this took some attempts to get the first slight improvement in, I think, yeah, 18.144, and a tiny bit more on the following lap, almost creeping below 118, and the following lap again a 17.991, and the following lap again a 17.3. So I am on a bit of a roll now. It's still not gold. I've done around 20 minutes now, and we go again, get a 17.1, and shortly after we get a 17.0, and we stay on board for this one, coasting the car around this long corner. It's a bit hard to see where you're going. I'm just keeping an eye on the ghost. Make sure to chop off a chunk of that corner. I'm running in a bit too deep, but we still get a somewhat decent exit. Braking at the 50 board, trying to get the car rotated. You can see I'm coming in a bit too narrow and my exit isn't that brilliant this time. Make sure I don't run too far to the left, because you have to make sure you have some room to turn into this section where you have to slow the car down, and also make sure that it doesn't get out of a rhythm for you. Make sure I don't come in too narrow, maybe a bit too narrow. It's all about trying to get a good exit up that hill, and then the final corner, just down to second gear. And yeah, I did a bit of a short shift. I think it's better to just see if you can get the power down and rev out that second gear, because yeah, it seems a bit faster. But that's a 16.9, and yeah, I've got 15 minutes left of my hour, so let's see what we can do. This is my final attempt this morning. I've done 90 kilometers, so this has been quite some attempts to do this. Making sure to cut as much as I can of these corners without getting a penalty. Try to get a good run out of this one, because now it's flat out all the way up to the long banked corner. Let's see if I can get the car rotated. Try to widen my entry into the final bit. Still not the best exit, and trying to stay to the right. And once again, see if we can keep the car in check. I cannot really figure out. I use a bit of seconds sometimes to rotate the car, but try to get back to third gear. And yeah, I'm still not maximizing the entry on that corner, so it gets a bit too narrow for me. And yeah, final corner, that's not that difficult to do. That's basically just getting the car around and power towards the finish line. And let's see what this is. I believe it's a 1:16.760. And this was the end of my 1 hour first impressions run on this one, but we are jumping on to the following day because I didn't have time to finish the video. So this is Sunday morning. I am 56 kilometers in this morning. You can see my optimal time is at 16.1, so I am throwing away some time here and there, but I'm trying to slowly get better at this. This first sector is really a tricky one. You can lose so much time here, but we get sort of a decent run on this one. The long banked corner, can I get the car rotated at the right time? I'm getting a bit better at that one, and let's see if we can figure out this tricky part. Just trying to keep it cool, a bit of second, back to third, just trying to keep the car balanced. And can I use a bit more of the entry this time? Not really, but we are coming up towards the final corner and making it around here, get on the power and towards the finish line. It took me some time to get used to this after trying it the morning before, but we get across the line in a 1:16.538. So now the big question is, can I do this faster in VR? To the headset. We are in the headset now and coming around turn 1. The big advantage is that it's far easier to look around these long tight corners, but you have to learn to judge where the corners of the car is, and that always takes some time for me. But so far we are doing okay. We are on this long flat out section coming towards the long banked corner, making sure we don't brake too hard. And yeah, you can see I overcooked it slightly on the entry, so now the ghost is running away from me. But all is not lost yet. Let's just get down through the tricky downhill section, slowing the car down. I'm getting a bit too much on the sand because it's getting a bit sketchy, but we are still alive. And let's get the car up the hill, see if we can get a decent exit, because yeah, you need to be early on the power. And the final corner, trying to ease on the power so I can just rev out second gear, and we're coming towards the finish line. And it actually turned out to be a 1:16.265. So yeah, I was honking my horn, glad that I managed to beat my flat screen time in VR. but there's still a lot of time to find in this one. I'm making plenty of mistakes. It's a tricky one, but I hope you found this video entertaining and maybe even somewhat useful. That's all from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.